section 4, the last section, I think this might be my favorite part of this chapter. I think everything leads up to this point. So let's take a look at the culminating ideas of this chapter. So when we're talking about emotions, it's important to realize that there are emotions that help us function. Those are called facilitative emotions. And there are emotions that get in the way of us functioning effectively, and those are called debilitative emotions. And really, the difference has to do with how intense the emotion is and how long it lasts. So, for example, we know that if you are in a situation that you don't really care for your apartment and you're just really irritated with it, well, because you're irritated, you're much more likely to try to find a better place. Or when I teach public speaking, I say to students that it's better to be just a little bit nervous, even though I tell them to say excited rather than nervous, than to be completely blasé about it. So a debilitative emotion is so strong or lasts so long that it keeps us from functioning effectively. So let's say your friend who's got that great job and moves out to California, and of course you're feeling sad, but your friend moved 6 months ago and you're still unable to get off the couch. That's a problem. That's lasted for a really long time. Your emotions have now gotten in the way of your being able to function. Or this was when I told you I had my anger issues as a child. I don't know, I remember my older sister making fun of me because I had made this picture of a Native American using some kind of sign language. And I had worked a long time. I think I was in 3rd grade, and I had worked really long and hard on this. And I was telling her all about it, and I messed up my words somehow, and she started laughing at me, and I was furious. So I took that piece of art and I ripped it up into a million pieces. That was pretty intense. That was too intense for the situation. So if you are someone who has experienced debilitative emotions, and we all have, do you ever find that something has happened and you can't let it go? What do we say? You're stewing about it. You're obsessing about it. Basically, what you're doing is you are ruminating. You can't let it go. You keep going back to it. And this idea, so I'll throw in some vocabulary work for free here. Animals like cows are called ruminants because what they do is they will chew their cud. They'll chew on the grass. It goes into their stomach, but that's not the end of it. It kind of keeps coming back, and that's what ruminating is doing. Okay. Alrighty. So interesting and maybe hard to understand this idea that what causes our emotions really are our thoughts. We also know that our genetic makeup has a big is a big factor in what emotions we feel. Remember, we talked about the people who are more extroverted feel those more intense, the high arousal. I'm thrilled, I'm ecstatic, and the introverts are more like, yeah, I feel happy, I'm calm, I'm serene. Right? There's something else that causes our emotions, could be the amygdala. Now, I'm not a biology professor, but the amygdala is part of the brain, and it functions like a nervous watchman. It is always scanning the environment to see, am I in trouble? Have I been in a situation like this before? And so it's looking for things that have a real strong emotional memory. Chances are, if you were bitten by a dog as a child, whenever you see a dog, your amygdala goes into overdrive and you're like, dog, right? And then the last piece that goes into what causes emotions are beliefs that we hold. And this is These ideas really come from the work that was done by Albert Ellis. He created an idea called the rational emotive approach in psychology. And his idea was we could change our feelings, we could change our emotions by changing unproductive interpretations, because it's not the event that causes the emotion, but the beliefs that we hold about the events. And our interpretation of the events determines our feelings. So, for example, a friend of mine is retiring, and I've been working all day setting up a party, setting up her retirement party, and Barb comes in and she says, Marguerite, go home. And I think I've done something wrong. So I'm going to feel embarrassed. I'm going to feel hurt. I'm going to come home and eat a package of Milano cookies. Or same situation, I'm helping set up the retirement party and Barb comes in and says, Marguerite, go home. And I realized I was the first one here. I've been working nonstop. I've done more than enough and we're almost finished. I'm going to say, wow, isn't that great that she realized that I've done so much. So the event for both of these is the same, but it's my thoughts, my belief about this event that's going to cause my feelings. So this is how our thoughts can cause feelings. So I'm trying to think if I should stop here or maybe get partway through this. Okay, I'll keep going. One of the things that can cause these debilitative emotions is that we are not thinking rationally. We have certain irrational thoughts, and these are called fallacies or faulty thinking. And there are 7 of them. So as we go through these, I want you to think about, are these which of the fallacies are ones, because we do all of these, but which are the ones that you see yourself doing maybe more than any others? Okay, so I'll go through a couple of them. The first one is the fallacy of perfection. And the idea is that a worthwhile communicator should be able to handle any situation, or even a worthwhile person, but I'll use it just in terms of communication. And I realize that as I'm giving a speech, I have said 3 times, and I think, oh, I said 3 times, and I teach public speaking. I suck at this. I should quit my job. Really? I'm not allowing myself to be at all human. So that is the fallacy of perfection. The fallacy of approval is when we believe that it's vital to obtain everyone's approval. You want everyone to like you. I think of this maybe in middle school. I think is when you're looking for your in-group, and so you do things that you don't necessarily believe in because you want people to like you. There was I think I was in 9th grade. There was a boy that I liked, and he really, I don't know how I found this out. He liked the perfume Sweet Honesty that was an Avon product, and I thought it was awful, and I bought it, and I wore it because I wanted him to like me. So, I mean, it's the thinking that everyone should like you, and that because you think everyone should like you, you feel maybe that you need to do things to be different. The next one is one that we probably all do, the fallacy of shoulds, that there is an ideal way for the world to be, and we are frustrated when it doesn't work that way. Think about all the times that you say should. My brother was really big on this. Oh, it's going to rain this weekend. It shouldn't rain on the weekend. You have absolutely no control over this. So this is what I was thinking I would say to my brother. Why are you getting all upset about something that you can't control? Or, people should be polite. People shouldn't do whatever. So these, think about all the times that you have said should. All right, I'm going to do one more and then we're going to take a little break. The fallacy of overgeneralization has actually 2 kinds. Number 1 is you base a belief on a limited amount of information. and sometimes this ties in a little bit for me, for perfection, where I say, oh my gosh, I forgot to send Juliana a card for her birthday. I'm a terrible person. Okay. Well, just because I'm taking one little thing, forgetting to send a card, and I'm overgeneralizing. Okay. Or the second one is where we exaggerate shortcomings. If you've ever used the word always or never, right? You always do this. Really? And this tends to come out in arguments. All right. So then the question is, if I'm upset with my husband and I say, you never let me finish what I'm saying. You always interrupt me. And this, because this has happened. It's my irrational thinking. Who's feeling the debilitative emotions in this case? Well, me, because I'm feeling unappreciated or unheard. But I think because I've expressed how I'm feeling, I'm also causing some debilitative emotions in his part, for him. Oh my goodness, got to drink some more tea. I'm going to stop here, take a little break, and finish the rest of this chapter.